We should put the so we have the Czech flag on the left-hand side. The Bohemia, where the people came from after the Second World War, Czechoslovakia was formed from Bohemia, Moravia and Slovakia. Since then, Slovakia split off to be a separate country, and this is the flag of the Czech Republic. The one on the right is the German flag. The people that came had a mixture of names, some Czech, some German, but they spoke a German dialect, which is still understood by some people from Bavaria, southern Germany.
Previously, this building was a school.
Yes, this building here was the Puhoi Convent School. They had a public school from 1872, and this one was opened in 1923.
Oh, Bohemia was in the Czech Republic.
It was a country of its own up until the end of the First World War. It was
That's what I thought.
under the Austrian Empire.
That's what I
And then
thought.
after the First World War, they formed Czechoslovakia from Bohemia and Moravia and Slovakia. The people who settled Puhoi 157 and a half years ago came from the Kingdom of Bohemia. They managed to get their affairs together, and leaving Stab in Bohemia on the 26th of February 1863, they travelled right round the world and came to Auckland on the 27th of June 1863. 4 months travel around the world. These first 10 years were very hard, and if it hadn't been for the Maori people helping them, they probably would have starved. The church was the first public building built in 1881. So after 40 years, this photo here, you can see it was quite a well-established village then, with its 2 hotels and stores and church and school and hall. So the bush was the big part of their lives. They had to clear the bush if they were going to be farmers, so that's what they did. The big trees took about a week to cut down, and then they had to be cut up into manageable sized pieces, and even then you had the stump left in the ground. The people planted their vegetables around the roots of the big trees in the humus that was underneath the trees there. As I said, they sold just firewood first and then shingles. These are the shingles. And later the big trees as logs, which were rafted together and towed to Auckland. They worked together. Each family didn't work separately. There was about 51 adults, and they all worked together on one person's property and then moved to another person's property.
They're still there.
Yeah, she looks pretty bored with school, doesn't she? This is a potato plough, a machinery for digging potatoes. Once they'd cleared the trees off the land, they ploughed the land up and planted potatoes or pumpkins or corn to get the ground loose. And so there were acres and acres of potatoes planted, and this was a machine to dig the potatoes, pulled by a horse, a blade underneath, and guided by a man at the back. The potatoes were thrown out to each side, and then the family came along and picked up the potatoes. This is a gum spear. Shouldn't be under there. It was for probing the ground to find where kauri gum was buried, and then once they found some, they would dig down to get it up. The original people said the way they survived was that they kept their Catholic faith and they worked together, and that still happens pretty much now. The people work together and look after each other.